To make my gargoyle, first I'm going to start with some simple shapes, such as the top of the head, a big area for the mouth, and a curled up body. By starting with simple shapes, I can make a little cute gargoyle by adding on more shapes on top of the shapes I've already done. To draw an arm shape, I drew a curve, an angle, and then a box shape for the hand, and I'll add the details later. Then a curving line up and over for the crook of the elbow, and a line straight up to the face. The back is going to curve, and then we'll have the little legs come up just under the chin. We'll see the front of the leg come down, and a little foot cross over to the side. So I'll just draw a big circular shape and draw the rest of the foot later. The other foot will be hidden a little bit under that foot, so I'll draw just part of a circle. And the other hand will be tucked under the first hand right here. And we might see a little bit of that other elbow come around the side. So here's the hand with an arcing shape, and the other elbow up and over. The other leg we won't see too much of, but we'd see it a little bit right there where the knee comes up under the chin. And there we have our basic little curled up gargoyle. Maybe we'd like to add a little tail and some small wings. Now that we have some shapes settled, we can add eyes, nose, mouth, and other details. But you can see I started with basically an arc for the head, a long oval for the mouth, and a circle for the body before adding any other details. For the eyes, I'm going to make them have big eyelids and small little curving eyes underneath, kind of a little bit sleepy. I draw a little circle inside that to give it a highlight. For the other eye, I'll do pretty much the same thing, but have it go the opposite direction. So a curve up and out, a sleepy eyelid, and a curve underneath with a U shape and a small highlight. You can make your gargoyle however you want though. Gargoyles are interesting creatures that can be any shape or size. They can have wings or no wings at all. They can have big eyebrows made of scales like I'm drawing here, or no eyebrows at all. So you decide on your amazing gargoyle that you can create. I'll draw the line of the head down and a little cheek coming out. Then I think I need to add a small ear with a triangle shape coming out, and maybe a little fur on the inside, like a cat's ear. On the top, I think there are some little spikes, almost like a dragon. We can make the wings look like a little dragon too, by bringing up a line and down, and then curving upward U shapes in between. Let's do it again on the other side. Up and down, spike, 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 and then curve U shapes or rainbow shapes inside. And we can erase those extra lines between. Your gargoyle could have feathery wings though. It doesn't have to be bat-like or dragon-like wings. What about the nose? What kind of nose are you going to put on your gargoyle? Is it going to be a human nose? Is it going to be a dog nose? It can look however you want. I think mine will have some more scales. Mine looks quite dragony already, so I'm going to add U-shapes for scales at the top of the head. What about the mouth? Gargoyle mouths can look like human mouths or animal mouths, or a combination. So maybe I'll make mine have a line from the bottom of the nose, curve out to the side, curve out to the other side, and a chin in the middle. You might see a few teeth poking out of your gargoyle's mouth, or maybe no teeth at all. That's up to you. For the hands, we have the arms. We can just trace them with a darker line. We can add little details like spikes if we want. And then I think my gargoyle is going to have long, nubby fingers. I'll draw a curve for the bottom of the hand, a little bit curved line for the top, and a square knuckle. Then I'll draw down and around for the bottom of the finger and a big claw. I think mine is a friendly gargoyle, but it might look a little scary if you don't know that it is friendly. To draw the other fingers, we can draw a line out, the square knuckle, and a diagonal line down. We don't really have to see a lot of the other fingers. We don't see the claws maybe on some of the other ones. They're hidden behind. I might add a few more scales on the shoulder, but I don't want to draw all the scales. That would take a long time and it actually might not look as good as if I just put a few. I will put some more spikes on the back, coming down from the head area and down from the tail. Underneath the tail, I might have a different color. And it might have some long, thin scales, like a dragon or a snake. I think this gargoyle is feeling a little cold. It's all curled up. You might not see the other fingers too much, so I'll just draw some little lines there so you can see the other fingers disappearing. This line is the knee, and here's the line of the leg. This line is also the leg and the back of the leg. Now for the toes. The toes, I think, will be kind of the same as the fingers. I think my gargoyle has long toes with long claws. The middle toes will be longer than the side toes on my gargoyle. That's how a lot of animals are anyways. This foot is coming towards us, so we'll see the claws coming towards us there. We won't really see much of the toes at all, so I can just leave that as a U shape. Next, I want to outline this and color it. I can use markers, colored pencils, or anything that I want. Gargoyles are usually made of stone, so I'm going to use a lot of grays and maybe some browns. The first thing I'm going to do is color everything a very light gray. Once everything's colored light gray, I can start to add the details. I put a shadow on the left so that my light will be coming from the right. So each piece of my gargoyle, I can add in a darker color to the left. and leave a lighter color to the right. So that's every little piece, from every little scale to the arm to all the parts of my gargoyle. The main shadows are done. I can stop here if I'm happy with the way it looks, but I could add even darker shadows. The more layers of colored pencil I use, and if I use a variety of different colors of gray or brown, the more interesting it might get to look. It will look nice and textured if I add more colors and more shading. So you can give this a try, or you can stop whenever you're happy with the way it looks. I'm using soft Prismacolor pencils, which blend well together with this technique, but you can use many other things. You could do this same drawing in oil pastels. You could do it in markers. You could use many different techniques, but the main thing to remember is remember to use light and shadow. Make some areas dark that are facing away from the light, and make some areas lighter that would be facing towards the light. And think of every small part as a different shape. It's easier to add shadows if you remember that, for example, the eyelid is one shape. So put a highlight on one side and dark on the other. You don't have to look at this whole thing at once and say, oh, I've got to do everything at once. Just take it piece by piece, bit by bit. Then when you get to the end, you'll have a really nice picture. If your first picture doesn't turn out great, just try it again. You have many chances as you want. Well, you have as many chances as you have pieces of paper. If you really want to improve your art, just keep trying. If it doesn't look right the first time, just try again.